Hey guys, we are going to talk about the last few woes in this message that Jesus preached to the religious Pharisees. And we're going to see a really important principle. And that is that the nation of Israel, from the very beginning, as a whole, missed the plan of God. And now they were missing the Son of God. How so? We'll talk about it today.
Welcome to Everyday Truth with Kurt Skelly. We believe the Bible is true and relevant to everyone, everywhere, every day. If today's conversation is a help to you, take a moment to leave a review or share it with a friend. Thanks for listening. Now, let's join Kurt for today's episode.
Hey friends, welcome back. We are in the final little section here of the woe message of Jesus. We've spent a couple episodes talking about some things that really anger Jesus. And nothing angers Jesus anymore than religious Phariseeism. That just angers him. Jesus always prioritized the sins of the heart. Why? Because the sins of the heart, that really tells me who we are. And I'm afraid that sometimes we're good at cosmeticizing our lives. We know how to put the makeup on. We know how to wear the mask. We know how to wear the right costume, but Jesus always goes deeper in our lives. He wants to expose the real us to us so that heart level change can take place. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And we need to be careful to do business with the Lord at the heart level. With the heart, man believes unto righteousness. With the mouth, confession is made. And we've got to have heart level communication with the Lord. And Jesus is speaking to the hypocrisy, the acting ability. And they were good actors of the Pharisees and the scribes who had fooled everybody on their little stage, in their little performance, but they had not fooled Jesus. And Jesus was exposing them here just really hours before they would viciously indict him and crucify him on the cross. So look at verse number 25, and we'll continue the message Jesus was preaching. Verse 25, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within the inside of the cup, they are full of extortion and excess. So we just talked about the fact that your heart is what concerns the Lord. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord, he looks on that heart. And so in metaphoric language here, Jesus says to these Pharisees, hey, woe unto you. Judgment is coming. Why? Because you're really good at making the outside of the cup look good. And we all know this illustration even applies today, obviously. When you look for a coffee cup in the morning, like I often do, or look for a container to put something in to eat, yes, it's nice to have the decoration on the outside, and I'm going to pick that mug. That's my favorite mug that has that decoration or whatever. I've got many to choose from. But the most important thing is what's on the inside. And how many times have I taken a cup and looked in it and said, oh, that's not clean, or that's got something in it, so I've got to choose something else. No matter how good the outside looks, if the inside's not clean, it is not usable. And what Jesus is saying is, you men, I know the inside of your cup. And Jesus knows the inside of your cup too. And here's what Jesus said. When I look on the inside of your cup, scribes and Pharisees, you actors, you hypocrites, what I see is extortion. So what is extortion? Extortion is when you take advantage of other people to the point of taking from them what is rightfully theirs. You're extorting from them. We talked about devouring widows' houses a few days ago. But not only that, you're full of excess. Your lives are an indication of the fact that you're living off of taking advantage of other people. I know why you do what you do. I see it written all over you. You might hide it from others, but you're not hiding it from me, is what Jesus is saying. Verse number 26, thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. So Jesus is speaking directly to them and saying, guys, do the heart level work. I'm showing you what's there. Now deal with it. Deal with that inner uncleanness. Deal with those heart level issues. Don't think just because people speak well of you or laud you for the cleanliness of the outside of your cup that somehow that is a fair estimation of who you really are. No, deal with the inside. Get the inside of that cup clean, and then the outside will be clean. Why? Because that's the way God works, from inside out. From inside out. If the inside is unclean, eventually the outside will be unclean, because the mouth will eventually spill out what's in that heart. So start always with heart level. Start there. Instead of just cutting grass, dig roots. That's what Jesus is saying. Now, verse number 27, woe unto you. So here's the next one. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whited sepulchres. So at the feast times, they would love to embellish the tombs of the people they were honoring. This famous teacher, this famous prophet, they would whitewash, make and against the son of Jerusalem, next to the city of Jerusalem with all of its stone buildings. Boy, that would just pop. And so you are like whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward. So Jesus was there at the temple, and they're seeing beautiful sepulchres all around them. All you had to do is peer over the wall and see the whited sepulchres right up the Mount of Olives, where there was a cemetery. You could see these sepulchres, and Jesus is saying, "Yeah, you look beautiful, like those graves look beautiful. But watch this: you appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanness." So the primary way by which people became unclean was coming in contact with the dead. And so to say that you had dead men's bones inside of you was the ultimate uncleanness. So Jesus is saying, on the outside, you look like the most clean thing there is, white, ornate, beautiful. But to look inside of you, you are the most unclean. You could not create a more stark contrast than what you look like and what you really are like. I wonder, what is that contrast in your life or in mine? Because the farther apart your public life is from your private life, the greater the scale of your hypocrisy. And honestly, what if your life were turned inside out? What if what people knew about you were the things that were secret about you? And what about the things that you like for people to know about you, they didn't know about you? Would people's opinion be better of you or worse if you were turned inside out? Boy, that's a convicting question. And Jesus was saying, you are the exact opposite of what you purport yourselves to be. Look at verse 28. Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men. This is what you look like. But within you are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. So Jesus is just making the bold statement. This is what you are. And Jesus makes that bold statement to you and me. The Word of God makes that bold statement. This is what you are. And so when it comes to our lives, we can't deal with what we want to be true. We have to deal with what is true. And to have an accurate portrayal of what is true in my life, I need to look at my life through the accurate lens of the Word of God, the words of Jesus. Look at verse number 29. Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, because you build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which kill the prophets. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers, you serpents, ye generation of vipers. How can ye escape the damnation of hell? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify. Some of them ye shall scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, the son of Barachias, whom you slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come to pass, shall come upon this generation. So what is Jesus saying in this last woe? What he's saying is, you guys play this game like, oh, let's visit the tomb of Jeremiah, the tomb of these other prophets. And boy, if we had been alive when Jeremiah was so ill-treated, or when Isaiah or these other prophets were so rejected, we never would have done that. If we were Abel's brother, we wouldn't have killed him. If we were there in that temple when Zechariah was killed by the henchmen of Joash, we wouldn't have been partaker in that. And Jesus said, yes, you would. And it's going to be proven irrefutably because you are going to slay me. Remember the parable he told them just a few episodes ago? You've killed the servants, your fathers have, and now God has sent his son. The householder has sent his son, and you're going to kill him. So yes, indeed, your long history, Jewish leaders, has been to reject what God has sent. The prophets, the message, and now the prophet and the message embodied in Jesus himself, the Son. You're just like all the others. When he says from Abel, he was the first martyr, to Zacharias was the son of Jehoiada, whom Joash, who actually ironically was raised by Jehoiada and saved by Jehoiada, the high priest. When Jehoiada died, Joash turned on Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada, and had him killed. You can read all about that in 2 Chronicles 24. Now, in the Hebrew Bible, that's the chronology. The Hebrew Bible goes from Genesis, Abel, to Zechariah. So what Jesus is saying is from the beginning to the end, from the first martyr to the last martyr, you guys are all the same. You're hypocrites, you're pretenders, you're pretentious, you're actors, and I am onto you. So a final and excoriating rebuke Jesus gives them. So we're going to stop there, but in the last couple verses of the chapter, Jesus offers one final rebuke. And that final rebuke is not just to these leaders, but it's really a rebuke and a lamentation of the entire city of Jerusalem that has rejected and will reject Jesus in just the next few hours. So that's it for today. We'll stop right there, and we'll see you next time. Until then, God bless you, my friends.